When I was in college, my friends and I had a bad habit of seeking out supposedly haunted places just for the thrill of it. We had explored old cemeteries, abandoned asylums, and even an old mansion that had burned down decades ago. But none of those places ever truly scared me. Not like the tunnel did. The Whispering Tunnel was an old, abandoned train tunnel that sat deep in the woods on the outskirts of town. Local legend said that a woman had been murdered there decades ago, and now her spirit lingered, whispering to those who dared to enter. Some even claimed that if you stood inside long enough, you could hear her voice calling your name. It sounded like the perfect challenge. One Friday night, my friends, Jake, Emily, and Marcus, and I decided to check it out. Armed with flashlights and a couple of beers, we hiked through the woods, our laughter echoing in the darkness. It was late, past midnight, and the chill in the air sent shivers down my spine. We finally reached the tunnel's entrance, and it loomed before us like a black hole. The inside was pitch dark, the damp air carrying the scent of mildew and rust. Our footsteps crunched against the gravel as we stepped inside, our flashlights casting eerie shadows on the walls. "It's just a tunnel," Jake scoffed, his voice bouncing off the walls. "Where's the ghost?" We walked deeper inside, and that's when we heard it. A whisper. Soft, faint, almost like the wind. But there was no wind in the tunnel. Emily grabbed my arm. "Did you hear that?" Jake laughed nervously. "It's probably just the echo of our voices." Then it came again. Louder this time. A breathy voice, barely audible yet unmistakable. "Leave." My stomach dropped. Okay, that was real. We shone our flashlights around, searching for any sign of someone else. But we were alone. Marcus, the bravest among us, took a step forward. "If there's someone here, say something." Silence. Then, from the darkness, the whisper returned. "Get out." A chill ran through my body. The voice was coming from ahead, deep in the tunnel. And then I noticed something. Our breath was visible in the air, even though it wasn't cold outside. "Guys," Emily whispered, her voice trembling, "I think we should go." But Marcus wasn't ready to leave. He took another step forward. "This is stupid. It's just an old tunnel." Then his flashlight flickered and died. We all froze. One by one, our flashlights started going out. First Marcus's, then Emily's, then Jake's. The darkness swallowed us whole. Then, right next to my ear, I heard the whisper again. "Run." I screamed. Without thinking, I turned and bolted toward the entrance, my friends right behind me. My heart pounded as my feet slammed against the gravel. The whispering grew louder, turning into a chorus of hissing voices, surrounding us, chasing us. Then, just as I saw the faint moonlight at the tunnel's exit, something grabbed my wrist. I fell forward, hitting the ground hard. My friends didn't stop, they kept running, too panicked to notice. My flashlight had fallen, its dim beam casting just enough light for me to see. A hand. A pale, withered hand reaching out from the darkness, fingers wrapping around my wrist, cold as ice. I let out a strangled cry and kicked at it, scrambling to my feet. The hand vanished into the shadows, but the whispers continued, now filled with rage. I didn't look back. I ran faster than I ever had in my life, bursting out of the tunnel and into the safety of the moonlit woods. We didn't stop running until we reached the car. Panting, sweating, We piled in, slamming the door shut. For a long time, we just sat there, catching our breath, the adrenaline still surging through our veins. Then Jake spoke, his voice shaky. What the hell was that? I couldn't answer. All I could do was stare at my wrist, where I could still feel the icy grip. And then I saw them. Finger-shaped bruises forming right before my eyes. The drive back was silent. No one spoke. No one even dared to look back at the tunnel. But the feeling of being watched never left me. That night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, unable to sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard the whispers again, circling my mind like a ghostly chant. Then, just as I was about to drift off, my phone buzzed. A text message. Unknown number, did you like my tunnel? My heart stopped. My hands shook as I typed back, who is this? No response. Just silence. Then my phone screen flickered and went black. And in the reflection of my dark screen, I saw something behind me. A shadowy figure standing in the corner of my room. I turned the light on in a panic, but there was nothing there. My door was still locked. My windows shut tight. But I knew I wasn't alone. For weeks, the whispers followed me. I'd hear them in the shower, in the quiet corners of my apartment, even in my car late at night. My friends said they heard them too. Emily moved back home. Jake refused to talk about it. Marcus, the one who had been the most skeptical, started seeing a priest. One day, I drove back to the tunnel, determined to face whatever was haunting me. But when I got there, the entrance was sealed off with concrete. A warning sign stood in front, danger, do not enter. I asked around, but no one knew who had sealed it. No one even admitted to ever hearing about the Whispering Tunnel. Like it had never existed at all. But I knew the truth. The tunnel was real. The whispers were real. And something in there had followed us home. And I was terrified it would never leave.